Hey, Sherry.
Hi.
What's up, my people?
What's up, my people?
We did all right. All right. So, you know what's funny is that Marion takes always texting me like 10 minutes before, 10, 20, 15 minutes before or something like that. She's all like, Mike, are you on? I'm waiting. And yet she's not the first one on. Sherry is. So I know who my real fans are.
Marion shows she's gonna kill you.
But she's not on. She can't see this.
She's actually going to unalive you.
She literally texted me earlier. She's all like, Did your times change? I'm like, yeah, I'm on the East Coast. And she's all like, dang it, now I gotta wait another hour to see
It
you.
is probably harder for her being up in Canada.
Yeah, so, but I mean, if you fall back an hour, I guess so, because then it'd probably be like 9 o'clock in their area.
Do they have time change up there?
You know, it's just like any other place. There's like certain places have time change, some don't.
Yeah.
Mostly on the East Coast. And it's a U.S. thing. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a U.S. thing.
I could be wrong. It could be like that in other countries. I think it's just us.
I also could just Google it, but I'm not going to.
Yeah. You could have that answer right there. Yeah, I know. You and us both.
Hi, Brenda.
You know, when we lived in Maui, they didn't have a time change, so you didn't have to worry about it. It was like nothing. You know, when I was a kid in Missouri, we did like it to a degree because as a kid, it was, you know, you had to go to bed at a certain time. And my parents, I would always trick them, and they didn't know it. And I was like, hey, can I go to bed, stay up until midnight? And they're like, okay, this one time only, because my bedtime was like 9 o'clock. Thank you. And so the 9 o'clock bedtime. And I would trick them, and it would come up to 12, midnight. And they're like, okay, Michael, you got to go to bed. Nope, got to move the clock back an hour. I get another hour. And I'd be so excited that I tricked them, but then I ended up just going right back to sleep. So it didn't matter that much. All right, so we're going to wait about 3 more minutes before we start the show for everybody to jump on. For this episode of Nightwriter's Myth and Legends. So that should start shortly. Hey, Mia. Hey, Brenda. My fans are here. While we're waiting, if you guys don't know, Brenda is an amazing author. She's got the Prophecy series out there. You want to make sure you check that out. Mia is probably one of the biggest hearted people I've ever met. Such a beautiful person. She has her second book out of poetry. Make sure you guys are checking them out. They're on Amazon right now. Both of their things on her. Oh, we got Shay on there as well. Shay's got her book out, Sour, right now. So if you guys want to check that out, that is on the... Thank you. I can't say anything about them because the last time I got flagged by Amazon for saying anything, but thank you for this.
Oh, not flagged by Amazon, but...
Well, not Amazon, but by TikTok. TikTok flagged me. So, you know, that's how that goes. And then also got the hat, obviously.
But Patreon, we're allowed to talk about it all.
Yeah, Patreon, we're allowed to talk about. I am trying to do things on there.
So if you want more details about these, then you would have to go to Patreon.
Exactly. Patreon also allows lives as well. So I might do Patreon live.
Patreon also allows cussing.
Yeah, they allow swearing.
This would be a lot funnier.
Yeah, if we could be, like, if me and Kat could just be ourselves without all the rules and regulations.
Not that this isn't ourselves, it's just a highly censored version of ourselves.
It is extremely hard for me not to
cuss like a sailor.
Yeah, to add vocabulary. Because I swear I have full Tourette's. So to get through an hour...
Didn't you have our doctor, like, diagnose?
No, I tried to convince the doctor.
He tried to, like, I know you had a conversation with her about it. I could just imagine the glare she gave you. She loves us, but still.
I have a family doctor, and I kept trying to get her to diagnose him.
That's not what Tourette's is.
I said, can you diagnose me with Tourette's so that I can swear anywhere I want and won't be held accountable?
That's not how that works.
And to this day, she won't do it.
For good reason.
But I do have it. So if you can, sometimes we will be doing Nightwriter Myth and Legends cold cases. Something that we're going to be starting up pretty soon on Patreon.
For the reasons of... So with Myth and Legends, you know, you have the... I don't know if prospect is the right word, but you have that there's the aspect that it's a myth. It's not something that has happened and affected real people per se.
Correct.
Like when you're talking about the Loch Ness Monster, not to say that it's not real or people haven't.
Yeah, a bunch of Scott. You just offended like 90%.
I'm so sorry.
You just pissed off Scotland.
I'm so sorry. I love you, Scotland.
How dare you say it's not real?
Yeah, because that's not offensive.
The nest is not.
My point is, things with cold cases and such like actual true crime. As someone that is going into that field, I have a lot of respect for it and for the victims. So I would like to take it to a place where we can be more detailed and more respectable about it.
Shay's not like I'm 50%
Shay,
Scottish.
attack him.
We just ticked off
Don't
half
involve
of Shay.
me in this. Attack him. I'm not the one that.
She's the one that said Nessie wasn't real.
No,
that's sacrilegious.
I said.
You can't say that to people. People feel that's just wrong. So I'm just saying, only half of me is buying. Sherry did take and point out a couple of things.
These chairs are the worst.
These are the worst chairs.
I want you to understand. I'm trying to sit closer to you. Like I'm trying.
I know, but there's an arm and they move, and it's just like one of those things. So we're trying to get it. I'm gonna get stools. So that's something I'm gonna go over really quick here as well. But real fast, please share and like if you guys like our show. It does help us out with building the show up, like Sherry put down in there. So if you guys can share it, that would be awesome, and like it, that we appreciate that as well. We thank you guys all for all the gifts as well. A couple of things before we begin. My niece did a Halloween contest, and she created this really cool backdrop for her doorway, and we are going to adopt that to our set. So starting next week, we are going to have
an actual background,
an actual scary, spooky Nightwriter Myth and Legends background. So it is legit. So that's going to be the best part of this. We're actually going to have like
the best part. It's not us.
It's not us.
It won't be us.
The show's definitely not us. It's going to be the backdrop, because I can tell you right now that's going to be the best. All right. So let's go ahead. It's 8:02. So I'll go ahead and start. So first I'd like to welcome everybody. We just lost 2 viewers. We had 8, and it went down to 2 after I said share and like. Well, there's that. So, real quick, my name is author Mike Minicky. I write thriller books. I am actually going to expand that. There's going to be a surprise for all you readers that have loved my books. I won't talk about it on this episode, but there is going to be a little bit of a genre change coming up in the future that you guys might take and check it out. But my name is Mike Minicky. This is my daughter, Kat. We are the host of Nightwriter Myth and Legends, and this is where we discuss myth and legends around the world. So I need to know now. So I can't tell you. I will tell you that I do have a sequel. Like I'm re-editing the twins. I have a sequel coming up of the twins, and that's the reason why I'm re-editing the twins. But
the way that everyone flipped out about you saying romance is crazy. Yeah. I'm looking at the comments, and almost every single one is romance.
Well, I will tell you this. So a lot of you guys don't know this, but some of you guys do. I did read a lot of romance books growing up. Okay, however, I also have written pretty spicy scenes in some books that I never published. So. In the book the short story I did for Clarence Carter's Redacted Tales, which you guys can find on YouTube, I highly recommend that you guys go out there. But I did write a spice scene for the book, or the short story, The Traveling Salesman. Now, I didn't feel, after going back and I talked it over with a very close friend of mine, I felt that it was a little bit too much for that short story, and it kind of detracted from the scene. However, I still have the original version, and I sent it out to Brenda to check out, since I really appreciate Brenda's writing style, and the way she writes is extremely good.
Here. Hi, Marion.
So I sent the spice scene to her, and I sent it to Marion as well. But even Brenda liked the spice scene. It just didn't fit the story. I don't think it should have stayed in the story, and I did go with my friend's opinion on that, because I think it was the right decision. Because it was a short story horror thing and not a spice scene. But I did take I do write spice. I just don't sell it. You know what I mean? But I do have a little bit of a different thing coming forward in the future, but we'll talk about that on another episode. For this episode, though, I did want to take and tell you a couple things. We're going to start off with the first half. I want to say that just because Halloween is over, it's not over yet. We're going to make this special a Halloween special since we didn't get to do it last week. So the first part, we're going to talk about some of our Halloween stories, when we went trick-or-treating, me and Kat. And then the second part, we are going to do the top 10 favorite Halloween movies that me and her watch every year as a must. And our little feedbacks on that, okay? Spicy Mikey, yeah, it was good. I mean, if you read some of my books, you guys do see that there was, I will talk about that in 1 second. I know that everybody seems to keep going back to that. So, real quick, you guys know I bounce things off of Marion, right? Because Marion is more than just a friend. She's like family with us, but I do value her opinion.
Yes, we know it's not The Conjuring. Correct.
Yeah, because it's not The Conjuring, that's correct.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, make sure you watch the comments for me. And then, so Marion she's very knowledgeable because she reads so many different books. And that's the reason why I do value her opinion a lot. Like if she tells me the book's really good, I'll go read it because she's straight up forward honest. So when I was writing Traveling Salesman, which I do highly recommend you guys, if you guys haven't seen that or heard that book, it's free on YouTube. Clarence Carter has Redacted Tales. Please go down there. Go over to YouTube's, read it. There's also an interview with me and the narrator that Clarence Carter had set up to do it. It's a great story. I was really pleased with it, so check it out. However, whenever I was writing it, the original version, there was a very strong spicing. I mean, very strong. And I get, Marion's very quick to come back and say, hey, Mike, I really like this. Or maybe it would be better if you did this. And then she's like, that's an interesting scene.
And I had the exact same reaction.
She had the same reaction.
And he didn't believe me when I told him it was a no. Thank you, Marion, for convincing him otherwise.
Yeah, so I did take but I tell you what, the spice scene was very good. And I've had a lot of editors tell me that I should write romance books because of the romance. So if you've ever read Dredricktown, there is a very beautiful scene where Jacob and Jocelyn are connecting. They get bonded, and there's a bonding process. And that was really, really great. And then there was also make sure you pay attention to these for me. So, and then there was also the one in the twins where, Claire and John, there's like a romance scene in there. The biggest spice scene was probably in The Last Straw with the two main characters where it gets really heated and they're pressed against the door and it starts getting a little bit more deep. So you had that one right there. So I do spice in some of them, but I am going to have a little bit. I am well known for doing different genres, so that is going to be a thing going forward. I got a really cool idea that I'll share once I get past the whole twins and twin sequels, the re-edits, okay? Yes, he was hurt because his friends passed out and he had only 515 pieces. Oh, okay. All right, we're going to get to that in a minute. Yeah, the bonding scene was really good. Should like me at 4 at least. All right, I'm just checking the comments here because Kat's supposed to be doing it for me. How many chili pepper spicy? I ain't for sure. Brenda?
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to have to watch the live through my own phone because I can't see it from here.
Do that for me. So make sure you mute it though, so that they.
I know, but I genuinely can't see anything. I'm extremely blind.
Yeah, she can't.
So when I'm squinting, I can't see a single thing that's said on that screen.
So whenever I talk, I don't watch the screen, so I get lost. So I may miss your guys' comment. She's supposed to be here to watch those for me. But basically, Brenda, how many?
Do you want me to just straight up interrupt you for a thing though?
What?
Like, if there's a question, do you just want me to straight up interrupt?
Yeah, if you do. So, Brenda, how many chili peppers would you say that scene was? I'd like to hear your opinion on that. Same thing, Marion. How many spice peppers would you rate that spice scene that I sent you guys both? Go ahead and put it in the comments down below. All right, well, while they're doing it, I don't know if the screen got froze. Thank you for the gifts. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Thank you for the skips. Not enough. Well, you didn't get to read it, Clarence. You got the edited version on the one that I sent you. So I'll tell you what. If Marion and Brenda says it's good, I'll put it up. I'll put up the spice scene on Patreon, and you guys can take and read it for yourselves on that. Okay. So keep that in mind. And then so real quick while we're doing that, 3. But it would have been easy to take it to a 4. Yeah, I guess I can see that. All right. Well, thank you, Brenda. I love that. All right. So, real quick, I want you to read that. All right. I'll put it up on the Patreon, and you guys can check out. I'll put it on there. The unedited version. Just know it's the unedited version. And
Mia said she would like to read it.
yeah, and I'll put the page number in Patreon so you guys can read where it starts and then read the spice scene. And then if you guys do read it on Patreon, leave an honest opinion below because that's going to affect one of the books I write in the future. Okay? So check it out. And I can't read the spice scene on live. I get in so much trouble.
No, so the unedited version he cannot read.
Yeah,
No,
the unedited version has it's graphic to some degree.
I think that we're like fully glazing over the fact that like I was uncomfortable while reading.
This was a full sex scene.
It was. Don't say. Why would you say the word? You dingbat.
I'm just saying it was good though. It was a good spice scene. Anyways, got off topic. So, anyways, there will be a big announcement on a couple of changes on the books later. So, but anyways, we want to do a little bit of a Halloween special. First of all, if you guys had trick or treated, go ahead and I need it. I got you. So, my spice scenes are like 3 to 4 chilies. Yeah, I did like your spice scenes. Like, Brenda had some scenes where I was in here reading at night and I was thinking, well, man, I gotta take a couple of cold showers after reading Brenda's books. I thought mine were spicy. I'm just like, man, when her main character and the vampire, especially like towards the end after they finally, I don't want to ruin the story. But
don't give spoilers.
I only read the first book. I gotta wait to see
book.
the next one I believe is the Child to the Prophecy. But the first book I read, the Prophecy's Child, is gonna be the second book. The first one, especially, there's a scene. God, I can't spoil it. There's a lot of spice scenes in it.
If you want to know about the spice scenes, go get her book.
But the scene at the end, yeah, if you guys want to see the really great spice scenes, go out and buy Brenda's book. That's the best way to say it. I won't destroy it. So there's that. Okay.
Mia said Brenda makes super spicy good.
Yeah. So for today's episode, we got
Clarence says my spices are pepper spray.
Now, if you guys go trick or treating, or you guys went trick or treating this last time around, please put a comment down below. Now, I want to see how many of you people still trick or treat besides just us. Okay? So, over the years, there's a couple of funny trick or treat stories. I will stick mostly with Cat in these. So, a couple of things, you guys, it was freezing when we took the kids. Yeah, I can imagine that.
Oh, it was cold here.
It was cold here, too.
It was cold here. We live down south.
And we live in Florida.
Yeah.
So...
I think while we were, so for this year, we had taken out, my best friend's, son, with his stepfather, and we all walked around. This is funny with Chris, but we all walked around, and I would say that, did you post my Halloween costume, the Nightwing one?
I posted it on, I didn't post it, I sent it to Marion.
Okay.
I sent it to Marion.
In my costume,
I send everything to Marion.
I was pretty fully, like, covered up. Like, my shirt was, like, a long sleeve. I had gloves on. My legs were pretty exposed, though. And so when I was walking around, that was really cold. But then when we came back to our neighborhood, it dropped, like, 10 degrees.
It did.
It was cold.
She said you looked amazing, Marion.
Thank you.
Yeah, so when I was growing up, we weren't allowed to trick or treat too much as a kid. We grew up, my mom worked in a hospital, and she was always, they always had emergencies where bad things happened, so I couldn't go out. And this was back, I was born in the early 70s, and back in the day, all you had was, the trash bags, if you guys remember these, for you that are around my age. We had the old school trash bags that were, God, I can't think of it. It was like, how like they had the prints on it? I had the Lone Ranger. that was printed on mine, and then he had the mask that had that really nasty string rubber
I've
band.
seen them. They're terrifying.
Yeah, they're terrifying. Back in the day,
old,
those things were
kid
horrifying.
masks,
Yeah,
they're horrifying.
so we had those, and it would cut into the side of your head. But you basically were wearing, and it's funny because they tell you don't put plastic over your body, over your face.
But they gave it to you to put over your infant children.
Yeah. So whenever we did this, that's all I had. And then because we were poor, I had to wear that same costume for like years. So as I grew up and I grew taller, the costume shrunk. And then by the time I was like 13, it was like up here when it used to be down here. And then the legs were like up to my thighs. It was literally a garbage shorts at this point. It's like a skort at this point, right? So we couldn't go out there and we couldn't do anything. So we just would walk around. You know, I had the very few times that we were allowed to go, we were only allowed to go to a couple of houses on the block that my mom knew. And then when I got in there, we had to have the chocolate broken up in a billion pieces, x-rayed before we could eat it, right? So it just wasn't a pleasant time. So as I was getting older, my wife, one day we were walking into a Disney store in Maui, and they had this really cool Beauty and the Beast costume, and the Beast actually had the head. It was solid. It was a really well constructed costume, and it looked just like the Beast. And where the mouth was, you would see the face, right? The face was inside of it. So I was telling my wife my sad childhood story, and what she did is she goes, "Hey, honey, I'll go trick-or-treating with you so that you get candy," just to kind of reminisce. And I'm like, "Wow, you would do that for me, honey?" And she's like, "Yeah," because my wife is extremely young looking. Not only that, she is literally only 4'8". So my wife is a very tiny person.
She's teeny.
She's very tiny. So she puts on the costume, and this is way before Kat was born, right? When me and my wife were just dating. She puts on the costume, and her little tiny faces, like chew-breaked faces on there, and she just looked adorable. But she looked like she was legitimately like 9, 10 years old. So whenever we bought the costume, you got like a free little lantern bag, you got a little free bell flashlight. And I went out there and I was joking about, you know, why don't you walk ahead like my daughter and go get me a bunch of candy. Don't judge me. So anyways, she's going door to door and she's doing like a little hoppity skippity hop. And we go around to the door, so she's collecting the candy and she's going around and she's getting into it, right? And the people are just giving it and she looked really cool. And so there's this little girl dressed up as Belle. And the mother comes over and she goes, "Excuse me, sir, is it all right if my daughter takes a picture with your daughter?" "Sure, come right on up." So Sandra, my wife, comes over and I'm like, hey, honey, this little girl wants to take a picture with you. So she goes over, she stands next to my wife, and they take a picture. And then the mother goes, "Hey, wouldn't it be cute if your daughter and my daughter went around trick-or-treating together? And we could just like go together." And I was like, "Yeah, okay." And then my wife, at first, she's all like, "Yeah," because she liked the little girl, and she agreed. But I don't think my wife caught on what was going on. And I'll be honest with you, I'm usually pretty observant about clues, but I was totally blinded because I was just excited about getting candy. So as we're walking around, we're trick-or-treating. Well, the mother starts talking to me, and we're just having a polite conversation. At least I thought it was a polite conversation. But then we get around the block after about like 30 minutes. We get to this house. She goes, "Well, hey, just to let you know, this is the place I'm staying at for the night with these. I got a bunch of friends here. Me and my daughter's over. Do you think that maybe your daughter would like to go play in the playroom while me and you have a drink?" And I was like, "Oh shit." Oh, sorry, I can't quit. I was like, "Oops." I was just like, okay, well, I was totally blindsided that I did not pick up on this. And I was just like, no, not at all. And apparently my wife heard. So my wife was like, "We're going home now." And I was like, okay. So that was one very bad experience as a thing. So don't judge me. I did not know what was going on, but that was one of the experiences of trick-or-treating. So after that, my wife would not go trick-or-treating again. So I had to wait until I had Kat. If you guys can hear it in the background, the fire alarms are going off in our building because you cannot cook anything in any of these apartments because they put the fire detector right above the stove, which every night everybody's house goes off because of the fire detector. It's crazy. Anyways, back to the story. So after that, I couldn't go trick-or-treating until we had our own daughter. This comes into life. And that's where I said, hey, I got to take her trick-or-treating again. So we take and get Kat, and we dress her up in all these different costumes. Now, Kat had a lot of beautiful costumes when she looked so adorable in most of them. What were some of the costumes you remember?
We reused the Beauty and the Beast one. Mom dressed up as Beast. I was Belle because I remember the pictures of it.
Yeah.
We redid Belle.
Oh, wait. That reminds me. That was correct. So we had the costume of the Beauty and the Beast, and my wife did do it one more time. She wanted trick-treating, not trick. That's all right, Mia. So anyways, I tell you, Sandra did take and dress up as Beast one more time because Kat was Belle this time. So they both went out together, and they were like adorable. People thought it was so cute that they were together, mother and daughter, that they passed for it, and everybody loved it. I think we entered a contest too. We won like a little contest.
I'm too young to remember it.
Yeah, too young.
I'm like teeny tiny in that photo, but I remember being like, I remember the photos of it. I think one year, there was a couple fun years. He worked in an area back in Maui, up in Lahaina, and there was like a certain shopping district, and there was this really big Barnes and Noble.
Oh wait, I want to tell that story last.
I know the story you're talking about. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the trick-or-treating they used to do in that area.
Okay.
I know what you think I'm going to talk about, the Snow White. You can tell that one last.
Go ahead.
So there used to be like costume contests in that like little shopping mall district after the kids would go trick-or-treating. Now the fun part about this was that I was a child with a father that had a bunch of connections in that area because they all worked together. So I won every single year. Was it based off of talent? No. Was it based off of connections? Yes. And I'm not ashamed of it. But I remember there was one year I dressed up as a little fairy. And everyone thought I was Tinkerbell because my hair was up and the dress was green. And I wasn't Tinkerbell, and I would correct that I wasn't Tinkerbell because I felt like I was fake if I kept saying that I was. But I would get more candy if they thought I was Tinkerbell. So at some point, there's the alarm.
There goes the alarm again. Someone else is cooking.
At some point, he was just like, just be Tinkerbell.
Yeah, just be Tinkerbell.
A cute one that I do remember, that same costume contest, and this is one of my favorites, I dressed up as a pirate. I really wanted to be a pirate.
Yeah, this was not my favorite one.
I violently wanted to be a pirate. I don't know why, but I just did. And the only costumes they had for pirates, there was no girl pirate costumes. There was like only one suited for like boys. And so it was a little boy's pirate costume. I had it on.
It looked exactly like Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, I looked cute as heck, right? Well, the issue is that during like the kids, we were like drawing like chalk on the sidewalk.
Real quick, everybody thought that she was Jack Sparrow, and she kept telling them no. She was like, if you guys remember,
I would correct people a lot if I wasn't what I was.
Because it was the fourth movie where the girl dressed up as Jack Sparrow. I think in the Pirates of the Caribbean.
It's like Blackbeard's daughter.
Yeah, Blackbeard's daughter. That's what she was telling everybody. She goes, I'm Blackbeard's daughter.
And they're like, oh, and there would be less candy. And at one point, again, he had to tell me to just go with it. I'm like, I don't want to be fake. Anyways, I was on the alarms.
The alarms are just going off. Go ahead. We only gotta go.
I was doing like chalk on the sidewalk, and I was with these like two other kids. There was a boy and a girl. I'm playing with the little girl, and I'm with my mom, and they're with their mom, and my mom and the other mom are talking. And they're like, "Oh yeah," and the other mom's like, "Oh my God, she's so cute in her little pirate costume. There's no other like little girls here dressed up as pirates." The boy walks up, runs up to me and kisses me on the cheek and then runs back shy. And me and my reaction, and this goes to show that it hasn't changed into adulthood, was quite literally... And then I went back to...
So like the boy comes up and he just kisses her. And immediately, as a protective father, I was like, no.
And immediately I was just like...
No. And so yeah, I put a stop to that right away. But anyways, real quick before we get to the second half, there was one.
Did you wipe it off? Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I did.
Ooh, cuties. So we had my friend that worked at Barnes and Noble goes, hey, Mike, are you gonna?
Thank you for all the gifts.
Thank you guys so much for the gifts. Real quick, I do see Dory Murdoch join the things. For the authors on here, please follow Dory. She's an amazing voice narrator. If you guys need your guys' book on audio, she is definitely one to consider. She is amazing. So make sure you guys follow Dory. That's a must. So anyways, for the last story of this part of the episode, we did have a friend of mine worked at Barnes & Noble, and they said, hey, Mike, why don't you bring your daughter for a costume contest to see if she wins? I said, that would be a great idea. So I sit there, we dress up Kat as Snow White. She was a dead ringer. And we go to the Barnes & Noble, and I go up there, and I'm going to say, I like to enter my daughter into the Halloween contest. And when we enter her in there, we look around, and I'm like, why are all these people dressed up as Harry Potter? Like, it's all Harry Potter theme. And then my friend comes over and she goes, hey, Mike, you know that this is a Harry Potter contest? No, I don't know, because you didn't tell me it was a Harry Potter contest. You said, hey, did you want to bring your daughter to a costume contest? So that's what I did. And I'm all like, now we look like stupid idiots with my daughter dressed up as Snow White for a Harry Potter contest.
For a Harry contest.
And now we go in there, and then they bring them up there, and I'm just feeling embarrassed as hell. And then they pull all the characters on the stage to be judged. So you have this guy that's a dead ringer for Harry Potter.
He looked
literally
like Daniel Radcliffe.
Literally. Awesome. You had everybody on there, and there was like this other kid on there, right? And then my daughter's up there, and you see Harry Potter, Harry Potter, Harry Potter, Snow White, Harry Potter, Harry Potter, Harry Potter. And you see like everybody looking around like you can hear I'm in the back, because I always stay in the back so I can watch everybody. But I can hear the parents going like, who brought that kid? Why is she dressed up as Snow White? What is going on here? And I'm hearing all the whispers, and I'm just kind of like sneaking in the back, right? And then what was even worse?
I came in second place.
She came in second place.
And this wasn't even due to connection. Like, he was not really that close with these people. I just did it because they thought that I was cute.
And the prizes were like really nice, like
they were Lego sets.
Yeah, they were like Lego sets. They had Harry Potter stuff. It was like these expensive gifts. And she wins second place.
I won like
in a Harry Potter contest strictly.
Potion stand.
And you see, I look around and I just see all these pissed off parents. And I'm all like, and they're all like, hey, come up and congratulate them. And then you see one kid, like the one kid that did, like, he was all dressed up as like the redheaded kid from the ginger from Harry Potter.
Ron?
Ron Weasley, yeah.
You mean Ron?
Yeah, he's just
You're dissing my boy Ron, the redheaded. There's quite a few of them.
But
there's an entire family with at least 8 kids.
Here we go again. It was one of the kids. Yeah, there's like 50,
Ron,
50
my
redheaded
point.
kids.
My point.
All right.
You're like the redheaded kid. That's 8 different characters.
It was a redheaded kid. And he's like, they're pulling him off the stage. And he's all like, dude, she's not even Harry Potter. She's Snow White. She doesn't even know the genre.
It's getting the same energy as she doesn't even go here.
Dude, I was like, Kat gets the gift. And we start going to the gift, and Kat goes like, hey, we want to look around. I'm like, no, we got to go. Before we get killed on the way out.
You know what was funny, though? I feel like, so before they did the contest, they had us go on a scavenger hunt. And what was interesting was that I was one of the youngest people there, except for a little girl that wasn't really dressed up, but she was the sister of the boy that was the good Harry Potter. And they did this thing where, like, you reached into the sorting hat, you got, like, a ticket. It was obviously the house you were in, and then I was stamped. I got Gryffindor, not even my house, but okay. They were like, hey, we know you got Gryffindor, but it's a bunch of kind of, like, older boys. Did you want to go to the only one that got Hufflepuff, which is a little girl? And I said, sure, yeah. Was with her the entire time. She's lucky she got me, because guess who won through all of the scavenger hunt? Me. Me. And I still take pride in that.
All right.
To this day. Because I was the youngest one there. And I repeated out. Just saying.
So just so you know, we do have...
Broski, you're putting me out of frame here, but...
Well, I keep pulling you into frame.
Yeah.
It's like I got half an ass cheek each time.
Why? Stop. cussing.
But it's like I got like one butt cheek, dude. It's like I don't know how to work the camera.
It's like he'll pull me forward, right, to like help, but that like pushes me back further.
This whole setup sucks.
It's your setup.
I just feel uncomfortable. It's like I'm
How do you think I feel?
It's like I can't move out of the freaking chair.
How do you think I feel?
You can't move. It's like you're stuck. It's like they gotta make something.
They gotta make in our house.
All right. We got off track. We got off track here.
We really should. We got 30 minutes left. We really.
All
should
right, we gotta get to the other story. I'm getting to it real quick. We are Harry
You
Potter.
need a couch. We have one.
We have a couch.
We have one.
It's hard to put the screen and then because I got a Galaxy phone and we're trying to put it on. Anyways, I digress. So I get sidetracked too easily. We are big Harry Potter fans. Like I have all the books and we have all the movies, and she actually has like the real wands.
I have Snape's wand from Universal, which are like the official ones that you can get, the one when you go to Universal Studios. And then I have a Luna wand, which isn't the official one, but if I ever go back to Universal Studios, I would like to at least get Fred's and George's.
Yeah, we're gonna have like all these wands. I seen the one on TikTok where you can like flick it and then it shoots out like a little fireball.
That's a safety hazard.
I don't want that.
You're gonna get arrested if you use that in public.
You know, every time like these two get on my nerves, it's like bippity boppity boo.
Can you imagine trying to like rob a place, right?
No, you can't say that. Get out of the screen.
I'm just saying.
No, so we're gonna no. Just don't. We're gonna get kicked off or banned off of TikTok. So real quick, now we're gonna jump into the top 10 horror movies, or our trick or treats, I should say. Now, every year since we deal with myth and legends on this show, we do know that myth and legends are tied to Halloween costumes. Everybody dresses up as vampires, you know, werewolves, anything that you can. One year, someone did dress up as we were at a convention, and someone dressed up as the characters from one of my books, which was really cool. I was very honored to see that they actually did that. And then Bippity Boppity, I don't know, that was the first thing that came out of my mouth. It wasn't even Harry Potter. But we do know that, so we have a tradition. One, I have not missed one Halloween with my daughter. No matter what I'm doing, I am always with her. We always do Halloween. And we have a tradition that we do where we watch the same movies every year. And these are our favorites, okay? So go ahead and give me one off the list. We'll start no particular order except for the number one. Number one is our favorite, but these are in no particular orders. Please comment down below if you guys have seen these movies and if you thought they were good or bad. I'd love to hear your opinions. Go ahead.
So, Stir of Echoes.
Stir of Echoes. So, Stir of Echoes came out starring Kevin Bacon. It was one of the best movies. Love him in this movie. Now, I was a big fan of his back from Footloose, Tremors. You saw him in those type movies. So to see him as a bad guy, or not a bad guy, but in a scary movie was really great. This book came out at the same, or not the book, but the movie came out at the same time as the movie Sixth Sense. With Bruce Willis. And the Sixth Sense got so much play to it, but I honestly felt that Stir of Echoes was better. Also,
can we give an RIP to that new show that he was doing?
Yeah, he actually did a TV series just recently that was scary.
Really great.
Really good.
It wasn't scary, but it was a good...
It was a bounty hunter type thing where he died and he had to like collect souls.
You like learn to be a better person. It reminded me a lot of like Lucifer.
Yeah.
From Netflix. If you guys have seen that show, loved that show. It gave the same vibe per se, but it was like, I don't know, I just really enjoyed it. It had like the vibe of like Lucifer and Gravity Falls kind of like mixed together.
And they canceled that show after one season.
Very sad about it, and I think that it was stupid.
And they actually had him singing because he's a singer as well, and they had him singing his own songs in there. And it was called, I don't know what it was called. She can probably look it up really fast and get that name. Real quick on Stir of Echoes, though, there are a couple of things that really thought the book was really cool. I liked the whole where you see the dead people thing.
The Bondsman.
She found it. So the TV series is called The Bondsman. It came out last year. Fantastic series.
It came out this year.
Or this year. It had one season only, but it was really good. So you guys got to go check it out. It was a really good one to see. In Stir of Echoes, though, I loved the music. It had, obviously, the Rolling Stones, Paint It Black, one of my favorite songs. And the scene where he's on the couch and he hears the music and he breathes out the smoke. just the whole vibes, especially when they're I thought when they went to the graveyard and that creepy scene where the boy's seeing the dead people and she's following him and he meets like the other guy that can see dead people's. That was kind of an inspiration for my book Graveyard Games. In fact, I kind of added a little bit of that scene into that book. So it shows you how that kind of, fit in, right? So really, really good. There was one scene in Stir of Echoes, I don't know if you guys saw this, that was not planned. Kevin Bacon's in the backyard digging holes. He's looking for the body. And there's a bucket, and he gets mad, and he kicks the bucket, and it was supposed to go and just be kicked. But in the movie, he kicks it, it flies up to the second story, and literally breaks a window. That was not planned in the script. That was an accident, but they left it in the movie. Fantastic. Leave your comments below if you guys thought that was good. And then, what was the next movie?
Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
No, that's the number one. I said number one. The other ones. Pick a different one.
House on Haunted Hill.
House on Haunted Hill. So House on Haunted Hill, we're talking about not the original one. We're talking the 1990s one where they had the Marilyn Manson music playing at the very beginning. It had Frankie Jameson, one of the main characters. If you guys remember that, that was the first time that movie came out. The very intro had me right off the bat. They're all driving down the creepy road just like in the original movie. And you hear Marilyn Manson's Sweet Dreams playing, that had the vibe right off the bat. And then they had the scene that was the first time, I think, in cinematography where they were down in the dungeons of the haunted house and the girl gets kind of lost or she goes exploring. And on the camera, outside the camera, she just sees the really horrifying, this creepy atmosphere. And then when she holds up the camera, she sees the doctor doing an autopsy on these mental patients, right? And then next thing you know, they come alive in the camera. She pulls it down, nothing's there. And then as she pulls it back up, they attack, right? That movie gave some of the best chilling vibes. And I've been in places that were very similar, so that kind of hit me hard. I've been in some real bad places that were very similar to that, by the way. So that was like one of those cool things. And so I definitely recommend that movie, right? And then what was the other one?
The other one is Freddy vs. Jason.
Freddy vs. Jason, let's be honest. Everybody knows that my favorite one is Friday the 13th, right? I'm a big Jason Voorhees fan. Out of all my slasher, he is the favorite, right? I know that everybody has Michael Myers and Freddy, but I do favor Jason. As you guys know, I have him on like all my stuff. Well, in Freddy vs. Jason, I thought that movie was really well done because you had two titans going at it. And the fight scene at the very end was probably one of the best fight scenes I've seen between two slashers. Literally is my favorite out of all the Friday the 13th movies. That one's probably my favorite. It had that tongue-in-cheek comedy, but it really was, I thought the director did an amazing job on how they were able to take and blend it together. Like Freddy was already forgotten and he needed people to remember him. So he brought a child's mind of Jason and that brought back to the two titans together. And then the actors were really good. They had some actually pretty good famous people in there. One of the singers from Destiny's Child was in it, along with some of the other actors. Fantastic movies. Draggling dressed as Jason this year. Man, I love Jason. It's just fantastic. Still one of my best. What was the next one?
Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus, don't judge me. When Hocus Pocus came out, you had the Sanderson sisters. I like the old school kind of like sets like that. I thought that was a really good feel-good Halloween story. I like the fact that it was set in Maine. I'm a big Maine. I love the fall, even though I don't ever live in it, except for when I was a kid. I miss it. It's been 30 years since
That wasn't set in Maine.
I mean, it had the Maine kind of settings, you know what I mean?
So that, yeah.
Yeah, but I love the fall setting, I should say.
It's set in Salem, Massachusetts.
Yeah, Salem, Massachusetts, but it was kind of had that fall vibe. And it had a really great cast. The singing in it, you put a spell on me. I think that movie was probably one of my favorites of all time. The characters did an amazing job. And if you watch it closely, you could tell a really great actor is because they do things in the background to stay in character. So one of the characters would like, you see her, you see the main character talking, and you see the back character go, "Ooh, look, spider," and then she eats it. It was just amazingly done. I think that's probably one of my favorites of all time.
We don't talk about the second movie.
Yeah, we don't talk about the second Hocus Pocus.
Sleepy Hollow.
Sleepy Hollow. Now, in case you guys did not know, I'm talking about the Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp. But
okay, I was about to ask you to talk about that.
We are extremely big fans, or I was, when I was a kid. In school, they still brought out the old school TVs, and you would watch, during class, you would watch these old Halloween trick-or-treat movies, like Charlie Brown and stuff, right? Well, I am a big fan of the original cartoon, Sleepy Hollow. That was also part with the whole, like, something Toad. It was kind of like a 2-for-1, but it was done by Washington Irving. That cartoon is our favorite. We love it. We sing along with it. The scene in the movie where they're dancing at the end on the dance scene in the cartoon right before he starts the ride through the forest, that was probably one of my favorites. But when I was always wanting to see a live action movie, and whenever they did the one with Johnny Depp, I thought it was brilliant. First of all, the cinematography on it was amazing. The storyline on how they put it together was probably one of the most beautiful geniuses things that... Yeah, I know, the bridge scene, that was like one of my favorites. A couple cool facts about that movie. One, Christopher Walken plays the Headless Horseman. And people on set said that he was more terrifying with his head on than with the head off. But he played an amazing...
I think you meant he switched.
No, like he was scary with his real face.
That's what I meant.
Yeah. Like, people were terrified, but Christopher Walken was, like, one of my favorite actors of all time. But he was literally, the show was done really well. And let's be honest, Johnny Depp did an amazing job. I thought it was very well done. The action scenes were really great. And then the sword, me being in martial arts as a kid growing up, and I have done sword fighting, I've done knife fighting. And the guy that trained these actors to do, I'm very big on eskrima. So when you do eskrima, you're moving the sticks. But you do it with swords as well, fighting with 2 different swords of equal lengths. Inside the movie, there's the scene where they're fighting with the hatchets on the bridge. And it's a beautiful moving back and forth with the eskrimas. When they did that scene, that was taught by the guy that originally taught Earl Flynn all the way back in the day, sword fighting. That guy's still alive, or at least he was at that time, and he's the same one that did Princess Bride, the sword fighting in there. The guy was a genius, but he's the one that did the choreography for that movie. Fantastic movie of all time right there. Go ahead.
The next one would be Silver Bullet.
Silver Bullet. Now, as a horror fan, everybody knows that Stephen King writes some books. Well, he wrote a book called The Silver Bullet. This was probably one of his earlier books, or books.
Whoops.
Oops. Whoops.
What?
Whoops. Can't talk no more. Got that speech impediment. So anyways, it was one of his earlier books. It did all right on the book sales at the time. It wasn't one of his best seller hits, but they came out with a TV or a movie, and to this day, it's probably one of my favorites. Young Corey Haim was the star. Ham, tomato. He was the star of it. And they did this. I liked how it was told in the first person story, even though I write books that are third person. But that was done very well in the first person narrative. It had Gary Busey in there. And the guy that they had play the werewolf was absolutely amazing. This guy was terrifying, especially when they took out the eye and he had the eye patch on. That guy was fantastic. The scene where Corey Haim, whatever, is at the shooting off the fireworks, and the wolf's right there, and he's trying to get away. And the other scene where he's on the bridge trying to get away from the...
I think the bridge part's probably...
The bridge part was pretty terrifying.
Is terrifying, because with him in like werewolf mode, it's a little less terrifying, because this is the first interaction between the two. The kid's gonna get away.
Her facial expression, she's dying. Go ahead.
I lost train of thought. On the bridge,
you can tell she's my daughter.
Where he's like, I don't know. There's something about him in human form that was more terrifying than him as a werewolf. Because as a werewolf, it's a big scary monster. This is a man.
Yeah.
This is a man just stalking this little boy on the bridge. He could do whatever he wants. But I remember when we first were watching it, you were like, "Hey, tell me, who do you think the werewolf is?" 2 minutes into the film, we have this creepy preacher come in, dressed in all black, just in a state of just constantly. And I'm like, God, can't figure it out.
I think one of the best scenes in there was when they all went hunting for the wolf, and the fog lifted up, and they all got their
the bat,
the bat scene. Like you see him with the bat going down, and then you see it in his hand, and it's all smog, and then the next thing you know, you see it's in the wolf's hand, and then it's going down. That was probably one of my favorite scenes out of that movie. I just think that the actors did an amazing job. Probably one of the most brilliant movies at that time. Still a classic to this day. All right, go ahead.
The next one will be Elvira.
All right, so
Love of my life.
Elvira. If you guys don't know who Elvira is, you guys don't follow me no more. Elvira is an amazing legend from back in the day. She is the mistress of the dark. She used to do like a lot of like these B-rated movies where she would sit on a couch and narrate it and make fun of it, right? So it was really tongue-in-cheek when she did things. Well, she did a movie called Elvira, Mistress of the Dark.
You also have to realize, like, at the time she was doing this stuff, it was considered like a taboo thing. She was like very big into like the goth culture, which was also considered a taboo thing at the time. So for her to like come out and like do this show, it was a pretty big thing.
She was well known for doing like, you know, scare conventions. She would guest star on things, just like as just like this, you know, like basically like cosplay, and that's what she was. She was a cosplayer too, but before it even became something big. So she was always at like horror conventions, book fairs, stuff like this. She was a very well actress. Now she was as a child, she was badly burned. So her body's covered in 90% scar tissue. So she has to spends hours putting on the makeup and the hair and everything else. Well, they came out in 1980s with a movie called Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. And it was very tongue-in-cheek. But it was actually really well done.
It's a very good movie.
It was actually a really good sleeper B-rated movie. It had...
I wouldn't even consider it B-rated.
No, really, not really.
It has the same... I don't know. It's just such like a cute... Like, it gives so much... Like the Addams Family. Like this is a woman that's friends with, like she's just like the cool neighbor that Morticia is friends with. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It has the same vibe as the Addams Family.
But it was the humor.
It just wasn't as popular because it was a little more taboo.
Yeah, it had a humor. She's taboo because she's very well endowed. And she shows a lot in her outfit. So
she's very eccentric. She was also pushing forward again, goth culture, the drag makeup. There was a lot there that wasn't like, I don't know, popular at that time. And she made it popular with her own style.
Yeah. And the movie was based around where she was like trying to get into Hollywood to do her own show. Her aunt Morticia
and the monsters.
Yeah,
the monsters. Like this is what I feel like it's all in the same universe.
So she inherits like her aunt's house, and she goes out there.
The spell book.
And then there's the spell book, and it turns into like a whole witchcraft movie. It's about, you know, witchcraft, and it was just really well done. I think it was very fast paced. It was a really cool little show. They had a lot of really great actors in it, and it took off. So it is one of our favorites that we do watch every year. Go ahead with the next one.
The next one would be, let's do Trick or Treat. I'm going to say the second to last for last.
Okay, so Trick or Treat, come on, you guys all know about Sammy.
It's my baby. I'd adopt him if I could.
Trick or Treat is kind of, I'm a big fan, as you guys know, as being a writer. One of the things I've always talked about that got me into writing horror books and thrillers was I was a big fan of Brothers Grimm. And Brothers Grimm is known for their really short stories of, you know, horror movies or horror short stories that later on Disney turned into fairy tales. I'm a big fan of like Tales of the Crypt, Crypt Keeper, all that kind of stuff. So when you do those, you know that you're going to see these little kind of short creepy stories. I've written, you know, short creepy stories like The Traveling Salesman, to give you an example. So I'm a big fan of that. Well, Trick or Treat came out, and we were sitting down watching one night with the Sammy character, and it's a bunch of short stories that are tied together. You know, it's like you know how they, and it's just them throughout of it.
It's different point of views. All happening in the same night at multiple different times. That's another thing too. It's happening at multiple. Like it's not just like, oh, it's starting from the beginning to end. It's a jumble of timelines, but it all makes sense. It all wraps up at the very end of the film.
You got different timelines, but it makes sense on how it's being done from different perspectives. And then if you read some of my books, I do that with my books. The Twins is a good example. You got two different things happening at one time, but it jumps back and forth to make you stay invested in the story, right? So the Trick or Treat with Little Sammy was probably one of my best. It's a very dark humor movie that's still a horror movie. And I think that they did it. It had really, really great some characters inside of it. And they touched upon some of the Brother Grimm stories in it. So that was probably one of my favorites, is Trick or Treat. It's just a really great collection. I think it's, and to this day, a lot of people, Sammy, which is one of the main characters.
Sammy's become a prominent slasher.
Yeah, he's like, if you look up like dominant slashers nowadays.
Like Spirit of Halloween.
Yeah.
Sammy's up there.
He's up there with literally the
like Chucky.
Chucky,
Jason. You're looking at like
Jason, Michael Myers. It's literally up there.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll say real quick. One of the things I regretted about the Twins. It was a really great story. It became, my biggest hit to this day. Is probably one of my best-selling books. However, other authors on here can understand this. I went with I didn't know what I was doing. I hired an editor, and that editor was not good. And then I hired another editor to redo it. And that book, as I'm rewriting it now, I cringe inside because it was not edited properly at all. I feel blessed that people still love that book despite the poor editing, because that still shows that the story was still good enough that people loved it. But the rewrite, it's going to be the same story. I'm just rewriting it a little bit better with the better editing, because I am going to do a sequel to it. Yes, Marion does get first shot at seeing these. So she actually has seen each chapter rewritten, because she actually helps me out. She's my little helper. So love you, Marion. So, all right, on there. Then the next book. Or
the next book.
Next movie.
You're eating maggots, Michael.
Oh,
Lost Boys.
So how could you not have a favorite movie without The Lost Boys? Now, if you guys read vampire books, and I have read quite a few of them over the years, one I'll plug again is Brenda Dyer's series. If you guys like vampires, and you like the spice, and you like stories about vampires that are done well, check out Brenda Dyer's books. I think that she did an amazing job. I keep bragging about this because she did. She brought the myth, because you always see different typical myths and legends about vampires. And Brenda does it in a way where you actually believe that these events actually occurred and vampires are real. So she has literally have become one of my favorite writers of all time. I love her to death. And I mean that truly, that she is that good. All right? So Lost Boys came out in the 1980s.
This is such a hyperfixation.
And it has literally changed how whole vampires were looked at.
I love the punk kind of like the style they're dressed in, the overall. Hello?
Yeah. So they literally they were probably back in the day, all you had was Bela Lugosi's vampire Dracula.
Just the overall costume design.
Yeah, you had Bram Stoker's, which was good with Keanu Reeves. But whenever they came out with Lost Boys, that was legitimately the best. The very beginning scene when you see
carousel.
Yeah, when you see the carousel with Keith Sutherland walking out there, and amazing.
I want to do a live at one point where we just talk about theories and just about this movie, because I have so many. The movie was originally a book. I need to get my hands on the book. I've tried to. It is insane.
Yeah, Windex for cologne. Good.
It's insane to get your hands on the book. Like, it is so hard for whatever reason, and I want to read it so badly to see how different it is from the film. But there are so many theories about The Boys and this film in general. We watch it every Halloween. We watch it not even on Halloween. We watch it a couple times a week. Sometimes.
Yeah, we'll watch it like several times a year.
And it will notice, the fun thing is that we rewatch films so much, we will find new details, and that's so much fun to me because it gives more life to the characters in the story.
Yeah, I love that. I still use that quote to this day. Wait until I tell mom. Like all the time, I'm telling mom.
I love him so
Yeah, the
much.
music is the best. Everybody uses it today because the music is amazing. And there's a couple of interesting facts in there. One, if you watch David during the movie, he has gloves on because he broke his hand but he was riding the motorcycles and he was doing stunts on the motorcycles and he broke his hand. So you actually see his hands.
Take into account this is the 80s, so like
The 80s.
they didn't care as much, right?
Yeah, they didn't care, so he was doing his own motorcycle stuff, and he broke his hand, so that's the reason why it's in a glove the entire time.
Yeah.
The second thing inside the movie is that the one scene where you see David's hand go into the sun, and he's crying, is because he's really crying. The contacts got stuck in his eyes, and he was crying for real. So they left it in the movie.
Yeah.
So that was a really cool detail as well. But that was probably one of the best castings of any movies, and to this day it has become the cult classic. No one can deny that movie is probably one of the best vampire movies of all time, period. I still challenge a better vampire movie out there than that one. It's just legendary.
Yeah.
And the makeup that they did was amazing for this
It's
time.
one of my preferred, like, preferred makeup looks on, like, a vampire.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of Buffy. I know Spike, if you're a Buffy the Vampire Slayer watcher, I know that Spike is taken off of a specific lead singer from a band. I forgot his name. You would know who it was. But it's a lead
Billy
singer.
Idol, I think.
Billy Idol, that is. Yeah, he's taken off of Billy Idol, but I was also discussing with a friend who's a fan of both, that we both think that he definitely had a lot of inspiration from David. Just because of how similar they are in terms of, like, costume design.
All right. So now I believe we're at number 1, right?
Yes, Tucker and Dale.
Whoa. I want to say something. So, I almost blew it up. So we got a number 1 favorite. But before we do that, I want to do an honorable mention. You always should do a top 10 with an honorable mention. Our honorable mention will be werewolves in, or what is it? Paris?
Werewolves in Paris? American Werewolves in Paris.
Yeah, American Werewolf in Paris. Not the London one, but the Paris one. That one is going to get an honorable mention because I feel that is an extremely, really great humor, dark humor. They did a fantastic job with the werewolves at the time. That was very unheard of, how they did the werewolves inside of it. But that movie was really good. And I just think it's probably one of the best movies out there of werewolves. I thought it was a really great thing. Now, the top number 1 hit that we love more than any horror movie, at least together, that we watch, is Tucker and Dale. Versus Evil. This movie is probably one of our favorites of all time. Have you guys seen it? Put it down in the comments. Now, there's a favorite saying inside that movie that we use all the time. It is a vocal stem.
We have a lot of vocal stems from this movie.
Now, I don't do it really well, but Kat does. So I'm going to let Kat do it. This is our favorite part. There's times when we go into raging fits of laughter, and we have to stop and rewatch it like 10 times. Just that one scene. But Kat does it. There's a scene where the entire movie, if you haven't seen it, there's no real killer until the very end. That's the funny part about it. But it's based out of Canada. It's a Canadian movie that was just fantastically done up in Canada. It has one of the best actors of all times. You've seen him in Resident Alien. He played in
Firefly. He's voiced, God knows. I mean, he was actually, if you ever saw the new Superman movie, he plays the robot.
Yeah, he's a voice actor.
The Fortress of Solitude.
Yeah, he does a lot of voice acting, but he's just an amazing actor.
DC owns that man.
So there's a scene in there where the cop comes up there and then he...
No, it's where Dale's like, he's like, should we go to the police? And Tucker goes, what are we supposed to say? Howdy ho there, officer. We just had a doozy of a day. I was out here minding my business when all these college kids started killing themselves on my property. But there's another one later on, so if you haven't watched it, at some point, he gets his fingers off.
So the guys are rednecks, right? So that's the whole allure to them, right?
And they come in and they're talking to the guy who the finger's off, and they're like, "Oh no, we can just all talk about this. It's one big misunderstanding." And Tucker's like, "Oh well, yes, I'll provide the finger sandwiches."
You guys got to be there to understand it. But the movie is legendary.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil. It was based up. It was filmed all up in. I ain't for sure.
It had a lot of. I see it as like a spoof version of Ash versus Evil.
Yeah, it's kind of like a spoof version of that.
AKA Evil Dead and Evil Dead Rise. Because if you ever seen the original Evil Dead, the cabin they have in Tucker and Dale and Evil Dead are the exact same. Like, it's the exact same thing. There's even a chainsaw inside of the film. There's a lot of references to Evil Dead.
This came out like several years ago, Eve. I think it was about maybe...
You're looking at about 10 years ago.
At least 10 to 15 years ago.
Because this was the actor who plays Dale. If you ever seen the TV show Voltron, which was an animated film, they know the puzzle of doom and despair and suffering. If you ever seen the animated show Voltron, the actor who plays Dale voices Hunk. And that was back in 2016, and the show was way before, so you're looking at 2012, 2011 maybe, is when the show came out. It was probably around the same time as
it was such a, when it came out, they only aired it in a couple of theaters, and it didn't do well. And then
I think it was definitely around the same time as Twilight.
Yeah, it came out and it didn't make a big hit, and it became a cult classic on video.
Yeah.
And then now it's probably one of the most talked about movies. And it is just an amazing film. And then the guys that play in it...
Jeez, I'm a Canadian.
Yeah, it's filmed in Canada. It's got Canadian actors. It's got a Canadian sense of humor. I mean, it's a great film.
It's a really good film.
You should know about it up there. It's legendary. I mean, there's people that cosplay the characters. It's just an amazing... The tongue-in-cheek was brilliant. You have to really pay attention to the jokes, because it is a very dark humor, but it is amazing, right? So definitely check it out. It is 9 o'clock, so that wraps up our top 10. I'm sorry if this episode wasn't as good as some of the other ones. I haven't been feeling well lately, so we just decided, instead of doing just a straight myth, we were just going to do our top 10. So forgive us if this one was a little bit of a low-key episode. We do want to thank you guys for checking us out. A couple of things really quick in case it cuts off. About a month ago, we did do a contest, a short story contest for Nightwriter Myth and Legends. 3 authors were picked blindly. They sent in their short stories. They have been sent out to the judges. I have all but 2 judges picks yet. It was a close race. Out of the 3 authors, 2 of them were very close. It's neck and neck on who's the best short story. I will say that the authors that participated are amazing. They're legendary, and 1 of them, or 2 of them that did the short stories was very... When you guys find out who the authors are, you guys are going to flip your wigs, because the authors are just amazing. And the wordplays, I felt that they did an amazing job with the rules that I gave them. They were only given 5,000 words or less. They had to do a story on Hug and Mally. So these authors that got selected by the spin wheel, it's not their genre. So they had to write short stories in a different genre and do it fast, and they had to do it in a month. So it was a lot of for them to produce a really great story in such a short time was amazing. I might do a second contest. Like, obviously the judges are going to win. I want to keep it fair. I want it to be done based on talent. So it's going to be done blindly by judges, and blindly, no one knows who the authors are except for me. Not even the judges know who the authors are. So they won't know until the end. And then what I might do afterwards is do a People's Choice Award. Put all 3 stories up on Patreon, and then everybody can vote on theirs picks after that, so that there might be a second one, right? Real quick, my name is Mike Minicky. I'm an author of different genres. You can get my books on Amazon. My latest one, Graveyard Games, right now. 2 of my books are free right now on Amazon. One is the Dredrick Town. It's part of the book club for Nuke Daily. So that is free. It's real. As soon as I put it up for free, I checked KDP, and it's 167 copies were downloaded in 3 days. So a lot of people jumped on that free book. It is one of my favorite books that I've written. One of my favorites. So that is a book club for, if you guys want to join the book club with Nuke Daily, go check her out. I am going to be doing a meet and greet, and then a one-on-one interview for that book at the end, coming out in December. I am rewriting The Twins. It's going to be the same great story, so if you read it, I will put up the digital version when it's done for free, so that if you guys have already purchased the book, you can get the freebie as well. Please hold on to the original copies. Who knows, they might be worth money later on, because you guys are one of the very few that got the original copies. And then I'm going to do a sequel to it. And then after that, I got a pleasant surprise for everybody. Please check out the authors that are inside the books right now or down below. We got a few authors on there. Make sure you guys follow them.
Marion says I want this copy.
Marion's got like a whole
collection.
She's got like a whole mic. Like she's got a place in her house that is a mic altar, which is a little concerning. But I love Marion. She's my fave. But she does got like this whole like shrine that's going on in there. So real quick, join us next week. Next week I will be announcing the author that won the contest for the short story. So if you guys are wanting to see who won, and check them out, and check that out next week on next Tuesday's Nightwriters Myth and Legends. If one of you guys want to be on the show, please reach out to me. DM me. I told you I'm not there. DM me, and I'll see about having you guys on the show. Shay Smith was already on there last week. She's got her new book out, Sour. We talked a little bit about it. Right now, you can get that copy on there. And I forgot to mention, the last book that's free is called The Next Move. I did a Next Move for Stephanie James Publishing. It's free right now, and there is a video game that she has done based off my book. So if you read the book, you can take a survey, unlock the characters, and play your own Mike Minicky Night Move video game, which I didn't even know about until recently. Next Move. So that's actually really cool. I got a video game out there based on me and my characters. I'm very honored on that as well. Anyways, thank you guys. You guys have a beautiful night. Thank you for joining me, and you have a great evening.